Evidence has emerged that cash handouts from the government as compensation for the carbon tax are being spent on the pokies. Queensland and New South Wales data shows a surge in poker machine revenue at the same time as cash started to flow to mainly lower income earners in May and June. The revelation has sparked a furious debate with calls for the compensation to be paid as credit rather than cash. But the government says the vast majority of people are spending the money on essentials. Matthew Carney reports.
In May and June, families and pensioners received millions of dollars from the federal government's $14 billion package to help offset the cost of the carbon tax. Figures from the Queensland Office of Liquor and Gaming Regulation show a spike in poker machine revenue for that same period. In May, earnings increased by 7%, and in June, the increase was larger at almost 12%. The Liquor and Gaming Regulator says it's not sure what caused the increase, but Keith DeLacy from the Reef Casino in Cairns says revenues always surge when the government hands out cash.
Oh, I've got no doubt that there's more money spent on the pokies. I mean, every time there's a broad-based cash handout from the government, there's an increase in revenue at all of the gaming venues. So I'm not sure what they expected. I mean, people spend their money the way they see fit.
In New South Wales, gaming machine revenue increased by 4.2% in May and 5.5% in June. Other states are yet to release figures. Nick Xenophon says the government should consider changing the way the carbon tax compensation is paid.
This is meant to be a compensation package for the carbon tax, not something that will unjustly enrich pokies operators, not something that is seen by some as an electoral bribe. If the government is serious about this being a compensation package, then it ought to be done in a different way, and that could involve having rebates on electricity bills, more targeted, more directed, more effective.
Assistant Treasurer David Bradbury has defended the government's compensation payments, saying the vast majority of the payouts have been spent on essential items.
I understand that most of the data that's been relied upon has come from Queensland, and indeed there are some seasonal anomalies there, given the fact that many clubs this time last year were not operational as a result of the floods.
Gambling addiction expert Dr. Charles Livingston says the problem is not easy access to cash, but easy access to high-impact poker machines.
You can walk down to the local pub or club and you can lose $1,200 an hour. And that's what this illustrates more than anything else, the need to implement effective regulation of poker machines so that this sort of expenditure is not something that happens every day in every Australian suburb.
Clubs Australia says there's no evidence of a nationwide boom in poker machine revenue and points out that the figures for June covered 5 weekends. However, big poker machine operators Coles and Echo Entertainment reported stronger gaming revenues in both May and June this year. Matthew Carney, Lateline.